Now available in paperback and Kindle, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Learn how to avoid predatory females like Instagram models and e-girls in their virtual con games with Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Get your copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace in paperback and Kindle today. A 24-year-old man was allegedly kidnapped and tortured by a woman he had met on Instagram. Now, in this incident, which took place here in New York City, it is alleged that this 24-year-old man decided to meet up with 22-year-old Valerie Rosario from Manhattan at a Bronx apartment, and after meeting with Ms. Rosario at the apartment, he was ambushed by 3 men who were working with Ms. Rosario, who knocked him unconscious, took off all of his clothes, put him in a bathtub, and then poured a flammable liquid on him and tortured him. And as they were torturing him, they then made a FaceTime video and sent it to his brother, demanding a $100,000 ransom. Now, after this whole incident, the police then arrested all of these individuals for torturing and kidnapping this man, and the police look at this as an isolated incident. But when I take a critical examination of what happened to this 24-year-old man, it fits right in line with the profile for cyber simps that I talk about in my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Now, what caused this man to fall into this situation was the fact that he was online cyber simping. Now, a lot of your cyber simps, what they want to do is they want to go online, flashing lots of cash and bragging about their job and all of the money that they've got, and they're thinking that this is going to impress a lot of the women online who are on social media. Unfortunately, what they don't understand what they're doing is they are making themselves a target for female predators like these Instagram models who are not only looking for a fast buck, but that some of them are looking to do harm to men out here. And they see these guys basically as prey that they're taking advantage of, and that's what this alleged female predator, Valerie Rosario, was looking to do. She was looking to prey on a male out here and looking for somebody to go out here and abuse. And when she saw this male on Instagram showing off all of his money, trying to impress some female out there by getting her into a covert contract by saying, I have all of this money and you should see me as some sort of asset, this female saw the weakness in this man and then went out here and sent him some DMs and told him what he wanted to hear. And as this guy was getting gassed up by this female who was basically telling him what he wanted to hear and making him feel good, she got him to the point where she wanted to go from talking online to going to meet online. And that's something that is extremely dangerous for a man to do, because when you go out here talking about meeting people from online, it can lead to you winding up in an extremely bad situation. Now, the biggest mistake that this guy made was not only getting involved with this female predator from IG, but also going to meet this female predator from IG over at a residence, and that was a huge mistake. Now, the mistake he made, again, was going out here thinking, oh, I'm going to go to this home, because he probably told him that she was going to offer him some sex or offer him a taste of that atomic waste as she dropped the skid mark thong, and he probably, because he was horny, thinking he was going to get access to that atomic waste behind that skid mark thong, was eager to go meet this female at this apartment. But when he went to meet this female at this apartment, she wasn't alone, and basically she went out here and had her friends set him up for a robbery. And what they did was they beat him up and knocked him out, and after they beat him up and knocked him out, they went out here and tortured him to try to get him to contact his brother to talk about giving them $100,000. Unfortunately, this whole scheme wound up falling completely apart, because What many of these female predators don't understand about going out here and doing these type of schemes online is that you're leaving a virtual trail for the police to follow, because every device that you have out here, whether it be a smartphone, whether it be a laptop, whether it be an iPad, all of these devices have IP addresses in them on the Wi-Fi cards that are inside of those devices, and that IP address makes it where you can easily be tracked by law enforcement. And I guess that's what happened here as related to these individuals. The IP address led to all of them getting tracked, and then eventually led to them all winding up getting arrested. And with there being this video of this man on FaceTime being tortured, these people are basically going to be convicted, because there's nothing more than hard evidence that practically connects them to this crime. But this whole crime could have been avoided had this male done some critical thinking as related to dealing with women online, and that is understanding that the best thing to do is just not deal with females online. Because in most cases, when you're dealing with females online, the reason why they are online is because they can't get anybody in the real world to have a relationship with them. And these female predators, they look for people online to prey on, because they know that they don't have many options as related to getting involved with men, because they don't really see men as men. No, many of these women see a man as a tool they can use to get from point A to point B. And when this woman saw this guy flashing all of that cash, she saw a way to get a payday at his expense by trying to ransom him for $100,000. Now, he came in, again, thinking he was going to get some access to some skid mark thong and get some access to some atomic waste, but all he wound up was getting a whole lot of torture and being beaten up. And the whole thing is he was clinging to life because he thought, oh, I'm going to get with this beautiful girl, but there was no beauty in this woman. No, this woman was a predator, and she's the kind of predator I talk about in Stop Simping in Cyberspace. And if this guy had read Stop Simping in Cyberspace, he probably wouldn't have gone through this horrible ordeal, because he would have gotten the information that would have taught him how to avoid these kind of females, again, who are on these social media platforms like IG, posing in these pictures. These pictures are designed to lure a unsuspecting guy in, make him think that this girl is so fly, and then think that he has a shot at that girl. And then when he thinks she gets a reply, he thinks he's getting something positive. No, you're not getting something positive. All you're doing is being baited by a predator who already looked at your profile, saw you flashing all of that big money, and then saw a way to try to get that big money when you sat there responding, talking more and more about the stuff you have, bragging about how much money you've got. And again, when you go out here bragging about how much money you've got, you're not impressing this female. All you're doing is giving her the information to use against you to set you up for a robbery. Because again, if this female was a quality woman, she would already have a man, and she wouldn't be online posting pictures of herself online, because she would only be posting pictures for her man, and as related to photos in his own personal collection, and those pictures would be something he would keep private for himself. No, she would not be online posting photos to get the attention of other men if she's got her own man. So whenever you see females posting pictures online, there's something definitely wrong with them, and that is something many young men don't understand, because they get these cyber simps. All they're thinking about is, oh, this woman is paying attention to me, she likes me. But no, she likes what she thinks she's going to get out of you. And what happens with a lot of cyber simps is, they get wind up in these worst case scenarios where they get tortured and kidnapped. And in the best case scenarios, they wind up losing thousands of dollars to a female by giving them a Cash App or a PayPal donation that winds up going into her pockets, and then she winds up blocking them. But you don't have to wind up in these situations. All you have to do is understand that there's no quality women online going out here like this. No, if she's asking you to meet her in an apartment or something like that, it's a trap, and it's not one that you may survive coming out of, because I've heard of these horror stories. This is like the third horror story I've heard of somebody doing something as related to something online. I mean, the first one was in my old neighborhood where a woman called him up for an online date, and she asked him to meet right there on Park Avenue in the Bronx on 167th Street, and they set him up for a robbery. And this one was another guy. He was asked to come to an apartment in the Bronx, and he was set up for this kidnapping and torturing. And sadly, a lot of guys, they're winding up falling into these traps, because a lot of these cyber simps, they don't really understand how relationships work. They don't understand how dating works, and they don't understand how the women who, again, quality women, are not online looking for men. No, quality women, they go out here and they meet men face to face, and they meet men in public places, and then they have their communications in public, so they can get to know this guy, see how he behaves in public, and they know that this guy is up on the up and up. But these predators, they'll go out here making big promises of offers of free sex, a chance to step out of the skid mark thong and offer him a taste of the atomic waste. And again, because these guys are so thirsty and so eager to go out here and get laid, a lot of these guys wind up getting played. And when they wind up getting played, sometimes they wind up in a body bag, and that's something that I really don't want to see happen to guys. And that's why I try to make these videos, and I write books like Stop Simping in Cyberspace, because books like Stop Simping in Cyberspace, the reason why I write them is because those kind of books, I believe, can save a guy's life and could possibly lead to a guy winding up where he can avoid a very dangerous situation like this. Now, if you want to learn to identify these female predators, like these IG models, these e-girls, and these other female cyber predators, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find Stop Simping in Cyberspace on Google Play. And if you want to see me make more men's issues videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, and my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose. The man who rules the world runs into the irresistible force of a man with nothing to lose in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get the regular and variant editions of John Haynes, the man